Yo, 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 you already know what time it is. Welcome back to another episode of Thinker versus Speaker, where I, Marissa the Thinker, sit down with different guests and we talk about all things life, love, relationships, spirituality, literally whatever we want to talk about. So if it's a topic that you want to hear us talk about, you want to come on the show, you want to hear me talk to a certain person, have them come on the show, let me know. Follow me on social media. I'll give y'all all of that fancy stuff at the end. If you are easily triggered, this might not necessarily be the place for you. I'm not here to police people's thoughts and opinions. I'm only here to create a dialogue. So if you into that kind of thing, definitely strap up, stay tuned. We gonna hop right back into it. This week, I got a special guest. You know what I'm saying? No stranger to Thinker versus Speaker, and definitely not me. I got my dad back in the building. What's up, Dad?
Hey, what's up, Rich? What we talking about today?
Man, I want to talk about history. I want to talk about history. I mean, it's Black History Month, you know, and me and you were just having a conversation the other day about history. So I definitely wanted to kind of like tap into it. Tap into it. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about history, it's kind of funny, right? So like I feel like me and you are connected in a kind of way. You can let me know if I'm right or wrong. But like when it comes to like history and stuff, like I always would like you just know a lot of stuff. You just know a lot of stuff about a lot of things just for like no reason, it seems like. But I think that's because both of us like to kind of like delve into things and just learn a bunch of different stuff. So I think I got like my like love of learning kind of like from you, like especially like learning different kind of stuff. And like I remember like me and you, we could like sit down and like look at the History Channel and then you could like tell me a bunch of stuff. So like why, like, are you really into history? Like, am I getting that wrong? And like what's so interesting about it to you?
I don't think I'm into history that much. I think I'm just into things, the truth. I think I'd be trying to find out what's true or not. I think when you get a certain age, you start like you stuff don't make sense to you, and then you ask the question whether it's religion, whether it's history, just and everything, and stuff just it never made sense to me. So I started delving into things that made sense to me. And then, for some people it's bothersome. Some people believe what they told. You know what I'm saying? Some people say if the TV told you, if the Bible told you, if the book told you, then they be like, then that's what it is. Then when you come along and say, nah, man, this is what I read. They need 5 points of truth for you to prove, to show them that's how it be. But you'll go listen at a newsman, or you'll go listen at somebody white, a school teacher, anybody, or a racist, or anybody that to tell you anything, and you will believe that. But if I tell you something that I've learned through history or something, people don't want to really hear it.
Yeah.
And it benefits them. It's the truth. You tell somebody how great they are, they don't even want to hear it. I wish somebody would have told me how great I was as a person, as a race. When I was coming up, I'd have been a better person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I see two things when I hear that, because like even with you explaining that, I feel like that's how I am, and I think that's why we bond so heavily when it comes to that. And it almost makes me think, like, before we get into like Black history, like where you think about like familial history and like why it's important to know like your family, you know what I'm saying? Like first, like starting with the home and stuff like that. Because like when I think about you now, it makes me very curious about like grandpa and like who else is like this, you know what I'm saying, in our family, and what more about my family do I not know, because I'm starting to understand how connected we are, especially like when it comes to like personalities and gifts and stuff like that too. And
Right.
like, so like, do you think it's kind of like important to know like family history, and like how do you feel about like, preserving things, like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like family history and stuff like that?
Oh, I think it's real important to preserve family history. The problem is, as blacks, we don't know our history,
Mm-hmm.
and we delving, we delving into places trying to find our history and stuff, and we finding out that we're kin to people, or people our relatives, stuff like that, which is good. But I think that when we say Black history, I think that's our mistake. We just want to know history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? White people ain't got no white history. They just got their history.
Hmm.
They found a way to eliminate some parts of history to make us want to just know Black history. Yeah,
Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. You still there?
I'm still down, baby.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because when you just said that too, it made me think, right? And like, ooh, some people might not like what it is that I'm about to say, but tell me if I'm right or wrong. Now, you know how you know how like we like to be, because like we're America, like we want to act like we got this real high like moral code and stuff like that, but like we live in America, we're programmed by America, right? So you got to take some of that stuff into consideration, like when it comes to what we get fed, because it don't matter what country you go to, every country has pride and it's going to tell you all the great things about the country and like kind of skip over the bad parts. And like when you think about it, right? Because I believe it's a thing. Like I think in Germany, like after World War II, they tried to like scrub a lot of their history books and a lot of their history and act like, you know what I'm saying, some of those things that happened, like the Holocaust and stuff like that, they try to act like it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like the world knows that it happened and they can't really hide it. But I think in like the 40s, like right after, there was a big effort to try to like hide it and push it out the way, like, oh, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, you know what I'm saying? We can't really push it past anybody to try to do something like that, right? And
Right.
then when you think about America, right? Like you're saying, like when it comes to Black history, it's just oh so convenient how it's a lot of things that just kind of like, right? Because when you talk about Black history, what do they like to do when they teach you Black history? They stick it in 1 month and they be like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. Got it? Good. Let's get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that. And oh yeah, at one point in time, y'all ancestors were slaves. Cool, cool. Wasn't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? The white people probably had like 1 or 2 slaves, and you know, per household or whatever. Don't even worry about it. You know, let's just move on to March, where we can start talking about you know, the great expansion. Like, you know, like that's kind of
Well,
yeah.
watch when you think about it, it's really smart. People not lying to you. Because when they say Black history, they really teaching you Black history. They teaching you about a history of blacks, you know. But what is Black history? You know what? I mean, somebody told you black. What is black? You know, we're not black. I mean, we Africans. You know, the matter of fact of what we are, we're Africans.
Mhm.
You know, we Africans some way, some shape. We're not black. Black is a color. You know, so
Yep.
they teaching a color history. So
That's
yeah,
from their
they,
lens.
right. So when they teach that, that allows them to teach about slavery. That lead to teach about, because that's when people was considered black. When you talk about slavery, they allow you to teach you about Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. These things are words where Europeans taught us like you black and that's your history, and we'll put that in the school.
Right.
But the problem is we need to find out about our history.
Yep.
Okay, that goes back past slavery, where where we came from. I mean, I know we don't. I mean, you think about it and stuff. You know, you probably can find your grandparents back uh, uh, through slavery. Maybe a grandparent, great grandparent was a slave, but that's where it ends. We didn't keep no records or nothing.
Right.
But the reality is, you know, we not. I mean, we Africans. We come from great people. We did great things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Read your Bible, you get into your Bible, a real Bible, not this Bible that they done put on us and taught us to believe in. This guy with white, you know, white face and blue eyes with blonde hair that people fear. I'm
Hmm.
talking about the reality of what we are. when you talk about see white folks are gonna go back to when they was Greek,
Yes,
they
they will.
back to when they was Neanderthals, and
Yep.
they go all the way back, and they can they can have history on that, and they can say caveman, but they don't want to go back to us and say we was Egyptians, and we were pharaohs, and we was kings and queens, and we was
Hmm.
mighty people, because see that'll disrupt some things.
Yeah.
know. See
Yeah.
that'll disrupt the way that we lie. If a parent could know, like if a black mother could look at her baby and she was taught all her life that your kid is from kings and queens, and that baby come out and that black mother looking at that baby like, your ancestry is from kings and queens, and we was treating ourselves as that. If we
Right.
walk the street like that, we'll walk the streets with our head up instead of our pants down. Because man, we great people, but they done kept on beating us down with this bullshit that people don't understand, and people ain't trying to remember that. But see, when whites, when they born and they go to school, they been taught how great they are. They was
Hmm.
taught from their first president. They was taught the King of England. You know, understand? The
Yep.
Queen of England. All this stuff, all this history that they got from their greatness, and they could see all that. But we can't see all that. But it's there. But nobody's gonna put that. You're gonna have to fight to get all this literature and information to find out how great you are. You're gonna have to go beyond that King James version and believe, you know what I'm saying, and believe what these preachers and stuff telling you. You
Right.
know, you're gonna have to reach. So when we talk about history, we talk about history and religion. We talk about ancient history.
Oh, yep.
It ain't got nothing to do with black history.
It's
We
all
just
history.
want our exactly. We just
It's
want
history.
our,
Period.
so that's what I'm saying. I look at all that, so everywhere we at, we walk around and like they continue to tell us that we ain't nothing. And then what's so bad about it, we start saying that to
Too.
each.
Hmm.
You understand? Not knowing that all you doing is putting another brother or sister down and stuff. We not pulling each other up. We not talking on the things that got us in a bad situation. I'm
Right.
not saying that you got to have compassion, but you got to have empathy for people
Yeah.
that done went through stuff. You understand? You got to understand, where we come from. My mother and father, they have I hate to put it out there, they didn't have a 12th grade education or nothing like that, but they knew how to raise kids. They knew where they wealth was at in
Right.
raising their kids and trying to teach their kids to be better people. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
don't even want to teach that type of history now.
Yeah.
You know? We don't
Yeah.
see what I'm saying. That ain't.
And something too, because something that has been sticking out in my mind, like as I've been doing what I'm doing, is legacy building. You know what I'm saying? Is legacy building. So when I'm talking about the importance of familial history, it's like I'm thinking about how us as Yarbros, right? We come from a family of sharecroppers. Those are like super humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? The most humble beginnings like possible, right? And you think about like what we've been able to do with that. So like for grandma and grandpa to not have, you know what I'm saying, a full education, but be able to raise y'all, and then y'all raise us, and then it's just like building on this legacy that was created, you know what I'm saying, from, you know what I'm saying, like Yarborough Lane type of deal, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like thinking of ourselves as like building on the work of the people that came before you, you know what I'm saying? It's just like when I look at myself now, I see myself as a representation of you and mom. You know what I'm saying? And I want to build on what y'all were able to do and take it further. So then, you know what I'm saying? When I have kids, I can take it further. They can take it further. You know what I'm saying? That kind of situation. And you think about legacies and stuff like that. And when you looking at family in that kind of way, understanding that we kings and queens and we have value and we work hard and that we can do anything that we put our mind to, you know what I'm saying? It's just like y'all brought us up to like that. But not everybody is doing that. So could you imagine how much stronger we could be if we was actually trying to instill these things, like you saying, like you are a young queen, you are a young king. You know what I'm saying? Treat yourself as such. Treat your body as such. You know what I'm saying? Like, build something. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at society now, everybody wants everything quick, but a legacy is built slow.
But you know, like one of the things that I think about, and I see how how we get played, and I can ask you the question, like if you think of most successful black people, that's wealthy. Well, let's just say wealthy with money, because they ain't doing nothing with it.
Right.
What made them? Where they get their money from? I'm just saying, if you had to think of wealthy black people in the numbers, what would you think they, ask? Where did they get their money from?
Ooh, that depends on what you mean. Because the answer, I can give you the answer that came to the top of my head first.
What's that?
It starts in the mind. It starts in the mind, because when you think about a wealthy family, it's gonna be started on those like core values of that family.
Right.
You know.
But I'm talking about, like, when you look at TV and you see Serena Williams and you see Will Smith, or you see Shaquille O'Neal, or in the rap you see Jay-Z now.
Oh yeah.
You take those fields, they from entertainment, they from sports. Right. Do you agree with that?
A lot of the ones that you see,
right? That's well, because you don't see nobody else. Well, I guess there's people out there that's wealthy or whatever, but who gonna show you those type of people that's black and they wealthy in a different form?
I know that's right.
Like in real estate, or like in business. Do you think the media wants you to see that? See, they want you to see like entertainments like that. They want you to see those type of people. And it's a reason for that, Richie.
So you feel like you can't succeed because the chances of excelling in that area are way less, like, you know what I'm saying, than to, like, if you commit yourself to school and go be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Like, they don't want that to be but because at that point you'll be in the system and making the world better, making your community better. You know what I'm saying? That's when you can actually make a real impact in this world. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff like that. But they want us to strive to be like athletes and entertainers and stuff like that. So then, like, you feel like you can't do it. It feels like there's no point of even going for it.
See, I don't think it's a day. I think it's a week.
Because, that's true.
Because that's what we all know, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when a mother have they kid or whatever, and like, and the father have their kid, and like I'm saying, man, this is like taboo to people, because because it's gonna feel like I'm talking about people, but I'm just saying what I'm saying. And this is part, like, when you do this with you have to be real careful how you talk, because people be thinking you talking about them, and I'm not. I'm just saying what I'm saying. But like when a father or a mother have their kids as black people, we look at our kids like, man, I can't wait to get them out there on the football field. I can't wait to get them out there on the basketball field. I can't wait to get them out there on the soccer field or the baseball field. That's how we look at our kids, And then that's what we put on them, okay?
Right.
Nobody, like an educated black person that went to school and got their masters and everything like that, they'll look at their kids and be like, man, I can't wait to show them how to do trigonometry, or I can't wait to show them how to get this degree to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, stuff like that. and they portray that. You can do that to your kids, okay?
Yeah.
But you have to have that power, that knowledge to be able to do that. So when they go to school, you got to keep them focused on what's at hand and what's important and stuff like that. And then that's why you don't have kids out there getting killed in the street because they just run in the street because their parents put guidelines on them and they got hopes for them and dreams for them. But I'm saying, like, but for us, like a majority of us, you know, that's what we see in our kids. And it's because that's what we program to see, you know. Because if you see LeBron James and you see that LeBron James is a billionaire and he all on the TV, you know, you start thinking to yourself, hey, my son could be the next LeBron James. Because that's how the media and everybody want to extort it to us.
Yeah.
You know, white kids know they ain't finna be the next LeBron James. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They got Christmas dinner. Their uncle might be a dentist or something. And he might got a boat. And he might got a big house and stuff. So a kid has something to look
up to.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or another uncle, a lawyer, he got those things, and he got a house, or they something else, and they got all these success points.
Somebody had to want to strive for more.
Right. But in the black family, if all you can see is somebody that might have made it through basketball, you know, or might have made it through football, with your 5'11" ass ain't gonna make it, you know, but you still hoping, you know. And we still push that on them because, I mean, ain't nothing's wrong about it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong about it because, you know.
Man, you right though, because it's just like you got to think about it, man. And you saying that, and it's hitting the home, because it's just like you'll think about some families, man. Think about some families. You could have somebody in your family right now with like a master's degree, a doctorate, and like in some people's mind, that's not even an accomplishment. But they'll still be talking about, you know, football stories from, you know what I'm saying, 2004, 2005.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's important. But you got black excellence sitting right in your fucking family. Right in your fucking family. Right in your face. But that's not an accomplishment because why?
Because we wasn't taught that it was an accomplishment. And then you know what we'll do? We'll talk bad on the person that went got all that. We'll be like, well, who they think they is? Getting their education. Well, you understand what I'm saying? Instead of leaning on them saying, look, how did you do this?
Right.
What did you do to push through? How can you help my little Susie or my little Brian and stuff?
Right.
We ain't even thinking on that level. Because
we just hating because we don't see ourselves doing it.
Look, if we could take this TV out of our house and these games out of our house, that the parents sitting up here playing. You know, I'm serious. And we go back to getting newspapers delivered to our house and read newspapers. Not the
news.
First page where the murder's at. Let's go where, you know, the TV company or the pharmaceutical companies or businesses or the tax. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to that paper where Wall Street, you know, got all them numbers NASDAQ and try to figure some of that out. Like we figuring out trying to get this magical football player on the TV to run, you know, the zigzag to get the touchdown while we ain't got shit in our pocket. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And I know I'm hitting hard on this. You know, and I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to be negative. What I'm saying is maybe we need to stop some of the things that we doing and start looking at a positive light and start doing something better. We understand that the system is rigged against us and stuff. We understand that it's knowledge people don't want us to have. We understand that it's greatness that in our people that
Right.
we don't even see it ourselves.
Right.
But sometimes we gonna have to have the hard conversations, you know. We so like I said, as a group of black people, we go caught up in our bullshit. You can't
Mm-hmm.
even have like the educated people have their conversation, and then the Christian people have their conversation. Like then the Muslim people got their conversation. But the Christian people, if they Christian, they got their head up. They believe in everything they read in this Bible. And ain't nothing you can say. Nothing you can say to change their mind. You
Yep.
can talk about history. You can talk about things that don't exist. You can talk about how you following something that makes totally no sense at all. Right?
Right.
They'll just tell you, man, you know, I just do it because I read it and I did it. Be like, well, damn, read your history book. Go back and do something else and find the truth. If that's the case, who told you you had to believe what your father and his father, which some of them were slaves, uneducated, and was taught through a system that suckered you. That you right now gotta believe that instead of going ahead and get your own knowledge. I remember, and I know I'm talking a lot, Richie, but I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But I remember growing up, and my dad used to read the Bible, and then I used to ask, like, hey, Dad, that don't make no sense. And my father used to be like, man, it is what it is, you know.
I know that's right.
Boy,
that's Grandpa, yo. He don't question that
he
Bible,
say,
bro.
Boy, don't question this. Boy, don't question this Bible. You know, and he was stern on it.
He was. Grandpa didn't play that. Don't play with God.
Right.
Don't
so
play
when
with that
young,
Bible.
if somebody was that stern on you be
You
like,
believe it.
right. Maybe this nigga know what he was talking about. And then when you get older, you was like, oh, nah, I love my dad, but he was just...
there was some things there.
Right. He was just caught up. So now he was an old Christian, right? Now you got these young Christians and on that same thing, you know? They on that same thing. You can't tell them nothing. You can sit down, you can be in a barbershop, you can be talking, man, and anything. I had a Mexican guy, I was talking about black race, and I was trying to make him understand, like, look, man, we all the same, you know? And then they wanted to talk about critical race theory, you know? And I was like, well, I can understand why white folks don't want their kids to learn critical race theory.
Yeah, of course.
I can understand why, you know, little Johnny was taught whatever he was taught about George Washington and everything that he was taught, and the Queen of England and everything beautiful, and you the best, and you got opportunities and everything. That's just privilege. Now, don't get me wrong, because I ain't know here talking about white folks, because white folks ain't did nothing wrong to me. But because the cool white folks understand that they got privilege, right? Yeah. They understand that they got privilege, and they deal with their privilege, and they like, it's like hitting the lottery. They like, well, shit, I hit the lottery. I'm gonna get all these things, and I'm gonna go on about my way. And when it comes to treating people, they don't look no negative. You know, some of them, because I got friends, they be like, well, it is what it is. You know, I ain't gonna be here to talk about you, but I'm gonna just go on about my privileged way and enjoy my life. You know, deal with the things that you have to deal with as a black person. You know.
Right, ain't nobody saying feel guilty for what your great grandma did. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they so scared. They get so scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a great black revolt. Be like, nigga, this is with people, period. Now, this is with people, period. Right. It don't matter. Do you know how much conflict you can avoid just by being accountable?
Right. But the problem,
and being like, yeah, they fucked up. That shit was foul. I don't feel that way though.
The problem is them lying ones, okay?
Yeah.
Them lying ones. It's the ones like your ex-president that would just say anything he wanted to say.
Yeah.
And everything. It's these people in Congress and the Senate now that just sit there and know shit a lot, and they'll say it, and they don't want you to do certain things. Even our governor down here in Texas, right now, the other day, was telling these universities that you don't have to hire blacks and things like that. You don't have to have like the quota system like that, because you just hire people on their merit, you know. And he say that out your straight face. Now how in the hell you gonna hire people on their merit when these kids go to the best schools,
Absolutely,
they get the best education,
absolutely,
and everything, and then you say you just want a fair chance. Well,
we ain't have one to start with.
Give them a fair chance, right? And they know that. Give them a fair chance when they in the kindergarten.
That's why they don't want us to know critical race theory. Because critical race theory is going to let you know that this is systematic, which it is. Because if we going to go down that road, we can go down to like, bruh, okay, since we want to talk about history, since this is what this episode is about, right? When was the black community the strongest it's ever been, Dad?
Probably right before the if you asked me,
go ahead and say it. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
It was probably before the when Wall Street crashed in the 1920s, right there between 1900 and 1920s, because we had, black people were starting to have banks, and they was doing stuff, and they was owning their own land, and they was buying property and stuff like that. One of the things where the fall of Wall Street back then, it destroyed a lot of blacks. It took their things away, and then through racism destroyed, things like in Tulsa, things like in Rosewood in Florida, and things like in other places. And that's that same.
And that happened why? Because the blacks were getting too powerful.
Exactly.
They were getting too powerful. They were too strong. And you absolutely right, because in the 1920s and stuff, blacks had wealth for real.
Right.
They had wealth for real. You know what I'm saying? Think about when your fraternities and your sororities started, right? 19.
Think about when your black university started.
Exactly. We were educating ourselves, and we were complete families.
You see? Think about, like I'm saying, think about things like, you think about stuff like in history, and you think about where they say like Jackie Robinson came in the baseball and stuff like that. And they make it seem like it was so great for people to put Jackie Robinson in baseball. And it was a great thing. But the Negro League, just think if the Negro League would have just stayed today. You understand what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, just think if Jackie Robinson wouldn't have went and played baseball. Just think if the Negro League and them owners, you would have had black owners. You would have had black players. That's better. Okay? You would have had, if you moved it up, if you could see through a crystal ball, with somebody see through a crystal ball. And that's why they added Jackie Robinson. Because now you would have had stadiums filled with black people going to see great black baseball players, Dominican baseball players, Puerto Rican baseball players, Spanish baseball players, Korean baseball players, Japanese baseball players, and on and on. You would have been seeing that in football and on and on. You see? But it make it look like they did you a favor. No, you didn't. Look at the NFL. The NFL already a Negro League. You see? It's already a Negro League. They didn't do us no favors. We did them a favor. We did them a favor. Baby, football is the biggest sport in the Super Bowl, everything. You got 2 black quarterbacks going at it. You got 60 and 70% of the players black. And the only thing you got all white is the coaches and the owners. See, I'm just talking real to you. I'm just keeping it 100. And then people don't want to hear that. But I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's just they business me. and they do business things.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we sitting up here tripping off of Black History Month, and we think about who did Afro shit,
We thinking too small.
who did the Afro pick,
That's too
you know,
small.
right?
That's
Instead
too
of
small.
thinking about where we came from. See,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need to worry about where we came from. We didn't come out the ground in the 1600s and been no slaves. We didn't do that. Where did black people come from? Black people was already in America. You know, it kills me so much when you hear somebody talking about the Indians. The Indians was in. No, ain't with no damn Indians. What was some Indians? Who is Indians? It was black people. You keep hearing that. You keep hearing that lie. You know, yeah, they came over there with Indians. Where did Indians come from? You see? Where did Indians come from, Rich?
I don't know.
Indian. It wasn't no Indian. Yo, look. If you go to your history, you had the one thing you know, you had Egyptians, and you had the Greeks. Okay?
Yeah.
You had the Roman Empire. Where Indians come from?
Huh.
They just came out the water and called themselves Indians. They came from somebody with a gene in their body, which was black.
Well, see, that would go all the way back to we all come from one.
But
One.
But it does. It does.
It does. I mean, you have to think about it. It does. We all come from one. And what is that? And you have to think about what that is. We all come from one.
But see,
one.
But see, that don't fit the narrative. Okay? That don't fit. Look, you can't
make anything unblack. You can't make anything not black.
You look, in life, you gotta have somebody strong and smart. And you gotta have somebody dumb and ignorant. You understand what I'm saying? To make you to have these things. That's what you gotta have. That's all I'm saying. See, if the question I ask to you, and this ain't about history, say if you had a friend and he or she wasn't quite that smart, you know, was a little ignorant, a little thuggish, you know. Wasn't that? Would you be afraid of them?
No.
Right. So they want to tell you as black people or African American people that we thieves, we ignorant, we uneducated, we ain't got ourselves together. Look at them. But then they kill us on our strength. They kill us because they fear us. How can you fear somebody that you think is unequal to you?
Right. That kind of doesn't make sense. Why would you be afraid?
Right.
What are you afraid of?
Right. You kill somebody, you know, or you try to put somebody down that you scared of because of their strength and their knowledge. They know you got a knowledge that if it's watered, if it's nourished, if it's taken care of, it's something that makes you so great, you worth killing for.
Right.
You know? That's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, because like, why are you working so hard to minimize something, right? Like, why are you working so hard to minimize something? And you know what I'm saying? If we want to take this beyond race, beyond anything, that's a thought process. This happens in relationships. This happens in familial situations. It happens when you talk about race. When you're trying to suppress something, you know it's strong. You know it's something there. Because if you're trying to tell somebody like, oh, you dumb, oh, you can't leave me. If you trying to convince somebody why they need you and stuff like that, that's because you scared.
Right.
Because
And
that
it
person
ain't,
ain't doing nothing. That
and,
person is just being them.
and the deeper part, all that risk, it ain't about like Europeans or white folks. It's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, and I'm telling you, and that's what I, and it's not this not a statement to nobody but black people, and I'm telling them the truth. If when they go to the Orientals and they go in these Oriental stores, them Orientals ain't scared of you.
Mm-mm.
They fear you for what you are. They know the secret to everybody knows the
But us.
secret to black people except black people.
But us. We the only
Understand?
ones that's missing it.
The Mexicans know it. You understand what I'm saying? The Mexicans know it. The
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Ricans know it.
Mm-hmm.
The Europeans know it.
Yep.
Everybody knows how great black people is except black people. Except them.
And
Because
we
they know.
standing in our own way. And that's the part that we don't want to realize is us standing in our own way. Nobody's standing in our way but us.
And the reason I can tell you they know is because of the thing when I laid off to you, I was like, who are your best millionaires that you know? And I was like, it was sports people. So you see a person of a different race. Look at a LeBron James and stuff like that. Or look at a Michael Jordan and stuff like that. Or look at a Muhammad Ali and stuff like that dominate the sport and all that stuff. Them are African Americans or Africans or everything you want to say. They just great. When you look at Serena Williams, they dominated in their age when they got in there and they had the same things that everybody else had, and it was on the level playing field. They dominated. We see all them things, but we just look at it like,
good for them.
Great. Yeah, that's great. No, Tiger Woods, you understand what I'm saying? That's a gene that's in them that make them great. And people see that. When they see that, like I'm saying, back in the 1930s when Jesse Owens, and they put Jesse Owens in there, and Jesse Owens ran faster than anybody in the world. They saw that. They knew that. You understand what I'm saying? They knew his greatness. You know what I'm saying? They knew how great he was. Just like I'm saying, when they go plug a Jackie Robinson, a Jim Brown go and dominate. You see that? You know how great these are, these accomplishments. You see in entertainment when you see a Michael Jackson dancing like nobody can. Nobody can. Ain't nobody gonna go out there and dance like Michael Jackson.
And I want to emphasize something too at the same time, because when you think about people like that too, something that I want to highlight is that all of those people, when you think about all of those people, they say the same thing. They say, if you talk about Beyonce, they be like, Beyonce is a workaholic. She's a perfectionist. She's always working. She's always getting better at her craft. You thinking about Michael Jackson, they always working. They always getting better at their craft. You think about, you know what I'm saying? It's a reason why all of these people are great, because they found a thing and they applied themselves and they committed themselves to being great. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they had the tools and
because somebody told them. That's all I'm saying.
That's where I'm getting to.
First, right? They was great.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what we're missing. That's that part that we not understanding.
Well, because we talk through the TV and through everything else, through the radio, through our music, that we bitches and hoes, we gonna rape women. Then you look at TV and the only successful black people, you might see one police officer doing something, but every criminal is black. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, any movie, it's always the criminal gonna be the black guy. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, everybody commit crimes. And And that's just the way. I mean, that's just if you look at that. If you grow up in there, I know what people gonna be like. Oh, it's not like that. Yes, it damn is. Cause I've been here for 59 years and looking and living my life, and that's what I've been seeing. You see, that's what I see on TV. I can look at TV and I can see this going on like this, and I can in anything like that. Only time you see our greatness is in like sports and stuff like that. And you see our greatness, and people talk about how great we are in sports and stuff like that. You never hear like, how great people are when they do regular things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we don't understand that we could literally be great at anything. And I don't think this part came out in the last episode, but in that episode I had to scrap with Ashton. It's just like when you think about us, right? We do simple shit good and don't even realize it, right? We could do the bad shit well sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think everybody wants to idolize, like, you know what I'm saying? Who they idolizing right now? BMF is out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be Big Meech. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, want to talk about that. But it's just like, when you think that's a man that was running a multi-million-dollar company, and it wasn't legal, so he's in jail. But we have the types of mindsets to do those types of things, right? So imagine if we took that same hard work and that same dedication that we give to bullshit and applied it to something that was actually, you know what I'm saying, going to benefit us in the long term. It's just like we get caught up in moving fast that we forget that we playing a long game in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because what does all that mean when you in jail? What does all that mean when the government takes it all away from you again? Because they only let you get so far before they, you know what I'm saying, take it all back from you. You know what I'm saying? Before they make an example out of you. So, you know what I mean? Like, we do all of these things that we, when we not thinking long term, because it's just like these things could have longevity, but like we don't do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you think about like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, black people had trades.
Right.
Black people had trades. They could own their own businesses. Y'all used to tell us that all the time. The city where y'all grew up in, you know what I'm saying? People had businesses. It was local. You know what I'm saying?
But systematically, that was. See, when you don't have power and you don't have funds, people can come in your neighborhood and change things.
Right.
That's by playing.
Yeah.
That's by purpose. That's
because we don't vote.
Right. But I'm just saying that's by purpose. All you gotta do is squeeze the finances and then don't teach the trade and then let union and let skilled hands come in and do all the work. And then we don't support black businesses. That's why they always hear these people on the radio saying support black businesses. I mean, that's so true. I mean, if we don't support even the smaller black businesses, if we don't support ourselves, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what the thing we'll know. We'll go give our money, man. We'll go give our money like Jews, and nothing bad on Jews. They just smart. They'll keep their money in their neighborhood, in their store. But we get paid. We spend everything out of a black neighborhood. That's why black neighborhoods look the way they look. They ain't got no stores in them or nothing. We'll destroy stores in the neighborhood. And then we'll have Koreans and everybody else come in and feed us and do, and take our money. But you'll never see no banks in the neighborhood, no finance places in the neighborhood, no black car dealerships in the neighborhood, no black air conditioners, electricians, nowhere in the neighborhood.
Because
black people could go to.
Because imagine what the world could look like if we saw opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Me and Ashton talked about it one time in the episode that we had before that did come out. It's just like when you think about stuff like that, it's just like when I came down here I saw more black people with money than I've ever seen in my life. But not only did I see black people with money, I saw black people with money, white people with money, Mexicans with money, Asians with money. You know what I'm saying? Native American, everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like you come down here and you look, and it's just like, oh, there's opportunity here. You know what I mean? Like, it's opportunity here. The schools are big. The schools are big. You know what I'm saying? The every, you know what I'm saying? They invest in their stuff. Or they actually want, you know, the landscaping to look nice. Like, who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, when you think about where we came from, it's just like, you ain't see opportunity like that. You didn't see wealth like that. You know what I'm saying? When we went to school, it was just like, when we went to school, we had the same raggedy ass programs that they done had, you know, whatever. Like, we ain't had no swimming pools in our schools. We don't even know how to swim. Ain't no driver's ed. Ain't no none of that. You know what I'm saying? They teach you the bare minimum and be like, go ahead, figure it out. Either you gonna go to college and be successful, or you won't. And that's the narrative that we get taught, right? And then people think that stuff is like hopeless, and it's just like, oh, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, I can't do that, I can't do this, let me go work this, like, let me go work at this call center, or let me go do this, like, let me just go ahead and have some kids or something, because it ain't no hope for me getting no money, it ain't no hope for me getting no bread out here. Ain't no bread out here. You don't see it. But imagine if you had that, you know what I'm saying? If you had those people, you had those black mechanics, you had those black hairstylists with a salon on the corner. Imagine if y'all neighborhood had money so y'all could invest in y'all schools and bring y'all tax bracket up in y'all neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can get those resources that you need. Got involved, like you said, reading the newspaper, educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not believing what everybody else tells you. Using your brain to go figure some shit out for your fucking self. Even here, when you listen to this fucking podcast, the idea is for you to use your brain and figure some shit out for yourself. Don't believe me. Don't believe him. Go do some research. Go come up with your own conclusions. That's the idea for this shit. Because if we really took the time and invested in ourselves to make ourselves better, imagine what our whole community would look like. We would actually have something. We wouldn't be walking around like, woe is me all the fucking time, blaming everybody else for our problems. It ain't nobody in our fucking way. It ain't nobody in our way. We in our own way. By not supporting each other, by hating on the next person that actually wants something better for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Instead of wondering why you don't see yourself in that light. Why? Because somebody never told you that you could be that, because that's painful. Suck it up. Motherfuckers done been through shit, period. You ain't the only one. So stop getting in your own fucking way.
You sound pretty angry.
Man, it's just like, man, when you look out into our community, it's just like, we could be doing so much better, but we don't want to take accountability sometimes. It's just like, we want to say it's everybody else's fault. It's like, nah, we did some of this shit to ourselves.
So when did all this anger start? I'm your therapy. When did all this anger start? When did you first realize that people weren't doing what they supposed to do and you got highly upset?
You know what? Maybe that is a little triggering. Maybe that is a little personal, because it's just like, when you think about, for me, I feel that way because when I look around at people that I cared about, that I know wanted more, I think that's why I'm passionate. Because, you know, at one point in time, I had that mindset. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, sometimes when I get passionate like that, I'm talking to my old self. I'm talking to my old friends that I had to leave behind because they just ain't see it for themselves. That's who I'm talking to. And that's why I get so passionate, because it's just like, you can do better. You just choosing not to.
So if you say, if you had kids or a kid in 2023, So what would be your game plan on raising your kids?
It would be to,
Now you a mother, right? And what's
yeah,
your game? Break it down. I mean, it might be somebody out there finna have kids and stuff. Break. Just give them your thoughts.
my thoughts. I mean, of course, it's not gonna be perfect, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my ideal, and this is why I don't have no kids right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't have no kids right now, because I know I'm not in a position to do these things. But like, you know what I'm saying? The idea, just period. Actually, nah, this shit is realistic. No matter where the fuck you at in life, you can do this shit. The idea is for your one. I'm my example for my children. Just as y'all were to me, I'm that example. So I'm going into parenthood understanding that I'm who your first impression of what life might be or might look like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
So,
your first impression. So I'm
so
teaching myself I'm teaching you that to respect yourself, to seek higher understanding. You know what I'm saying? Know who you are. I'm teaching my child to believe in themselves and to believe in whatever they want to do, but also believe that, you know, in life that you have to work for things. You know what I'm saying? It's
you're
okay to
not
be.
gonna you're not gonna teach them how to rap.
No, you know what I'm saying. Now,
What
granted, if my
about basketball? What about basketball?
it's not priority. See, the
What
thing,
what about education? What about education?
no. See, you joking, but like
Yeah, I know
what you
I am. Cause you
I'm
got so mad, I'm trying to calm you
yeah.
down.
No, you gotta calm me down. But no, like the way that y'all approached it with us is just like, be whatever you want to be. Just be happy doing what you're doing.
So say if you'd asked me that, I was like, if I was raising kids, the difference that I know now that I ain't know back then, and I think your mom would agree with me and stuff. I would try to, and this sound bad. You remember when we talking about blacks don't own nothing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for my kids, I would get them out of that. If I had to do it over again, I would go make sure y'all that's in the school that got uh, different type of people in it.
Yeah.
I would have paid importance on the type of education y'all got at an early age.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I would have made it so that y'all friends were so diverse that y'all learned so much
Yeah.
this world. You know, see that's when you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you gonna really have to raise and elevate people.
Yep.
Because you can't stay in the mud and think you gonna get clean.
Yeah.
You know,
Somebody got to change something.
right? You know, because I see the school districts out here, and I this is I see the school districts at home, and they ain't doing nothing, and they ain't trying to educate people, and all you doing is just throwing your kid in the system that is awful. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so stop throwing your kids in the system, and like look, and unless like I said, my niece, she's straight A. Val's kids, Val's,
Nieces. Are they? No,
yeah,
they got little
cousins,
cousins. They
they
got little
do
cousins.
great. They do great. It's their environment.
Yeah.
You understand? And they parents that's really pushing that. And that's what I'm saying. If you teach them more than just like you're gonna be a basketball or football or rap artist. We tell them that they could be more than that, then I think that's the way to go. That's all. That's why I was asking you that. How would
Yeah.
you raise your kids?
I agree. I agree. The schools are definitely important, and so are the environments. You can't skip past that part, because you know what I'm saying. It was just like when we think about stuff, like we was in programs where like we was in band and we was still wearing the same uniforms that my cousin wore when she graduated in
Right.
2001. I graduated in 2011.
I just don't think I'll be buying no baby Jordans. That's all.
Priorities,
that's
priorities
all
will be in
I'm
a whole
saying.
different place. That's what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? The priorities are in a whole different place. And I think that's something that we don't really think about, you know what I'm saying, when we have kids. Because when you think about the circumstances that some people have kids under, they ain't in them types of positions. But it's just like we have to understand the importance of what having a child is, because that's a person. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about that kind of stuff, because
I think if I buy my kids some baby Jordans, I gotta have a baby Jordan house and baby Jordan car,
right,
baby Jordan job,
right,
and baby Jordan about to be getting ready to go to a real nice baby Jordan school. You know,
right,
that's
exactly.
that's like buying your kids some shit and they the cleanest one in the raggediest school. What point did you prove?
Nothing.
You know, that you just could dress your baby up and then he the dumbest motherfucker up in there.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't never, look, he ain't lying, y'all. I ain't never had a Jordan a day in my life until I bought it myself. Like, we didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that. But at the same time, though, we was going on family vacations like once a year. Like, we gonna see this state and that state and this state and this state. And there was more value in that. You know what I'm saying? Than having that. You know what I'm saying? I might have on Skechers, but I'm at Disney World, and some people can't say that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason why I didn't know you had two jobs, was because you were active and present in my life. And it's just like, now that's the stuff that matters. Like, did we have Jordans? Nah, but you know what I'm saying? We got to see things and experience things and create memories. Y'all just creating photos.
Well, I just think sometimes you gotta have hard conversations and hurt some people's feelings. I just think that we don't say nothing and we just all just clap people on their back for doing ignorant shit. And then they gonna continue to do ignorant shit. I just rather people be mad at me. And
while I'm honest,
I say what I feel and stuff like that. That's why when I get on here with you, I be knowing it's going, it feel like you talking about people, but you ain't talking about people. You just saying what you say. You know, if it hits you, then maybe you need to clean some shit up. Sometimes when I say it hit me, I be talking about myself.
I do too. I do too.
Right.
And that's exactly why I say this on here. It's just like, I ain't here to police people's feelings, and I ain't saying that I'm perfect. You know what I'm saying? Look, it is what it is. We all going through life. We ain't gotta act like this shit cuter than what it is. I know a lot of places on the internet want to act like, oh, we don't struggle. Oh, we don't. Everything is sunshine. No, the fuck. This is life.
Right.
Life is a journey. Life has ups, it has downs, it has everything. But like, where are we gonna get in life if we don't start being honest with ourselves and each other?
That's why people are listening to that. They be like, well, who are you to talk about? Well, who are you, man? I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Why you so upset?
Right. I'm just saying what I'm saying. We're just trying to help somebody. This whole conversation might help somebody. It might hurt somebody. It might ruffle some feathers, But the ideal is we just talking. Maybe we can help somebody. Maybe somebody come along in another episode and go deeper than what we went. Maybe we had to come back and go deeper than that.
Yeah, because that's all it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I find funny about a lot of things. One thing that I'm learning, I think one thing that we do the worst is communication. Like, we don't understand the power and the value of communication. And you know what I'm saying? And that goes back for like generations on generations on generations. It's programmed, but we can unprogram it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about stuff, it's just like, we always had to keep stuff hush hush. We always had to be, like, quiet and don't talk about it or whatever. But like, we don't have to do that anymore. We
We
can
be in
talk
our,
about these things.
we be in our field.
Yeah, and the thing, and we act this way, you know what I'm saying? Because like, well, even when you talk about like, you know what I'm saying, why people why people will look at the next person, right? Where it's just like, I thought this thought earlier, where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You tell somebody you doing something and they be like, oh, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. Good for
Right,
you. You be like, oh, I just bought a new car. Be like, oh, I can't do that. See
right.
me, I'ma just do this. And it's just like, well, okay, that's good for you.
Until
You
they buy a new car, and then they feel the same way you feel.
right. Right. You know what I'm saying? But when you saying it, it's just like, why are you saying it? Are you saying that because that's really what you want? Or are you saying no, you saying what it mean? I can't do that. You telling yourself I can't do that. Now, whatever your reason is whatever your reason is. But sometimes people reason ain't what they saying it is. It's because they don't see themselves doing a certain thing. So then when you do it, they gotta poo-poo it.
I
You
don't
know what
think
I'm saying?
nobody. Yeah, because people be lying to themselves. I don't think nobody want to struggle.
No.
Nobody want to be doing bad.
But you have to make, some people just make peace with their situation because they don't want to put in the effort to change it. Now, if that's the case, go ahead and say that. But you ain't gotta knock the next person for trying.
Right.
If that's your choice that you made and you happy with it, then why you gotta bring the next person down? Oh, you not happy with it. And if you're not happy with it, then say that. But don't nobody want to be that honest with people.
I agree with you, Ace. I agree with you.
Yeah. But on that note, I think we done put the knife
Exhausted
in
our
look.
conversation. We exhausted our conversation.
What you mean our conversation? It was mostly you with a dash of me.
You know, well, you get to do it every week.
I do, that's true. But that's the idea, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here to bring the show.
I've been, like I said, you getting a lot of different people with different opinions, which is all good.
Yeah.
And like I said, I kind of dig it because it
Yeah.
kind of go in different places and stuff, and it gives you things to talk about, and you get perspectives of other people, which I think is great on your show. So I think you're doing great, though. Keep on doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to where we're gonna go with it. I'm just excited to have a bunch of different conversations. Next week we should have this guy named Trey, who I went to high school with, and he has this Facebook group called God's Business Plan. And we're kind of gonna get into we're getting into why we struggle to support each other. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole idea of God's Business Plan is it's a group of entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, and they got together and they were like, you know what? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We need resources. We need help. Ain't nobody really got help and resources for us. So it's just like we got to create it ourselves. So they are creating, you know what I'm saying, a network for, Black entrepreneurs or people that want to start businesses, for all of us to link up and utilize our resources together and help, like, one, uplift each other, talk each other through the process. You know what I'm saying? Share our resources. Like, hey, you don't have to take that route that they said on the first tab of Google. You know what I'm saying? To open your LLC. Actually, you can do XYZ and it's cheaper. And then putting all those resources into one place. So I'm excited to have that conversation about that too, especially after this one, where we're talking about like how we uplift ourselves and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a lot more conversations to come. And if y'all want to come on the podcast, or if y'all want to hear something that we want, talk about something, if you got any comments about this episode or any thoughts like that, drop them in the comment section. Follow me on social media. You can find me at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it, but I never feel like it, at MarissaY17. And you can find me on Facebook, YouTube at Marissa the Thinker. And if you're looking for Thinker versus Speaker, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Thinker versus Speaker official on TikTok. So yeah, I respond. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's have some conversations and keep this thing going. If you like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, put other people on, all those kind of things. Anything else before we get out of here, Dad?
Yeah, like I say, I was thinking about following up because I'm doing this with you so much. I'm thinking about starting one myself, and it's gonna be about weekly events and sports and stuff like that. Just two fellas or whoever talking about what's going on in that week, and try to piggyback off on what you do.
Okay.
And, get out here and get live on it. Not try to steal your thunder, but try to add to it.
Let's go. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And anything you need to get it started, let me know. We'll figure it out.
I got some ideas.
All right, bet. On that note, we go ahead.
It's gonna be bomb.
Oh yeah. Where y'all think I got this all this sass from?
All right, Ricky. I'll holler at you.
All right, later. Thanks, Dad.
Smooth, mate.